Hi guys, and welcome back to the Psychic Sleuth channel. So, all the ways to support me are down below. If you would like to schedule a private reading, you can do so with the link down below. Also, I have a couple of spots open for the spirit-led groups. I'm doing 3 extra small groups. But I do have a lot of people that want, after those fill up, that want another date. I can always add another date. But for now, I still have, I think, 3 spots in one date and 4 spots in another, something like that. So if you're still interested in that, just email me at thepsychicsleuth@gmail.com and let me know. So this is a very highly requested case. I actually wasn't drawn to it at first because you have to do everything in the timing. Like Spirit's the one that leads me. They're the ones that bring the cases to me, and sometimes I don't get drawn to them right away, but I'll get drawn to it later due to timing of things and the fact that they needed to transition and be okay. Like I don't like to do readings too early. But yesterday I started having I was trying to sleep, they were on my mind, it was there's certain things I'm seeing randomly, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm gonna follow this up with cards um at the end to validate. So as you know, when we get to that point, it is a matter of perception with the cards, and they are just to validate and sometimes give extra information. So I just might like to explain kind of how I work for those that are new here. Um, so information that comes in can be past, present, or future, any point in any of their lives. I'm looking at all of them, so I don't know who's going to come through and channeling. Sometimes if I feel drawn to one more, I'll end up going towards that person. Like I did with Idaho, I started off with all 4 of them, and I ended up being drawn to one, and then later on doing each of them. I'm not going to do that in this thing. I don't think. I think I'm just going to do one reading in the cards and be done with it. But we'll see. So, anyways, past, present, future, symbolic. It's not always literal in the way that I see it, and sometimes it's even metaphoric. Um, and things can also have multiple meanings. So, Spirit will often use my references, experiences, how we relate to things to try to explain what they're wanting to say. So as I get information, Lizzie, who is my sitter, is someone to bounce off of. It's like I'm giving somebody a reading instead of just sitting there talking to myself. It helps the energy flow. So she'll validate what she knows. She'll say yes to whatever she doesn't know. And she's just there as someone to kind of like be a sounding board to bounce off of and keep the energy going. Okay. Um, And sorry, I get a little spacey sometimes when spirit starts to come in. So keep in mind that things that I describe, sometimes there can be interconnects, so sometimes I'll pick up other cases, although I don't do that too much with this. It can happen. I do try to remind people of that. And sometimes when I see people, doesn't necessarily it's the perp or the victim, it can be connections. And sometimes I can get things that are connected to the area or connected to the people surrounding it. So do keep in mind that sometimes things come in as connections. I just see what I see. I have no control of what comes in. Spirit does the best to show me that. It is like symbolism and visions and things like that, and I have to translate that to you guys. So I might perceive it wrong, but it is a matter of perception. I do try the best that I can to perceive it correctly and try to understand what they are saying. But do keep that in mind that when it comes to these types of readings, like I am just trying to translate the best way that I can, and I'll just do that by description. So, this is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised, and everyone is innocent to proven guilty if there is a guilty party. Also, I do like to explain to people that I do feel things that are going on in the body. So, as spirit starts to come in, I'll get a description. As a medical medium, I'm able to feel things, and it's like I get a description of what happened in the body during the time of their passing or anything. It can also be ailments that may come in that maybe they had some point in their life. It's not always to do with their passing, but again, I do usually get a description. And I can only show you guys what they show me. I won't know every bit and piece of every information. I can only give you what spirit gives me. That's it. I'm just a human connecting to another vibration. Just as someone that has a talent, it's not like I know everything. Okay, so just want to put that out there. All right, please be kind in the comments and in everyday life, and let's try to keep the channel in good vibrations. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Lizzie on.
Hello.
She's ready. Hi. Okay, so I do kind of scribble to kind of bring spirit in. Actually, I don't even know their names. I just pulled up a picture of all of them. Okay, so I don't research cases, but sometimes things may come in that is already known. Spirit will validate that, or if I know it, I will tell you guys. So expect me to get factual information. That's just the way it works. If it happened, I'll get it. Doesn't matter if it's out there or not. So I do know that they went to a game or something, right? That's basically all I know. Like I said, I haven't been really drawn to this case. I don't really know much about it other than they went to a game and they were found in the backyard. That's basically all I know. I don't know if they went to, did they go to a game before?
No, they went to a friend's house to watch the game.
Okay. Because the reason why I asked that is because I feel like all this excitement, like how guys would be over football, it's kind of annoying. How excited guys get over football, it's kind of that kind of feeling. I don't know why though. Why am I getting are you sure they didn't go? I don't know why I'm getting tickets.
He bought tickets for the playoff game.
Oh, okay. Because I was seeing tickets and I was like, are you sure? So maybe that's what they were excited about?
Because they won if they won this game, then they were moving on to the next playoff. If they won that playoff game, then they were going to the Super Bowl. So they won this game on the 7th, and then the guy that not owned the residence, was renting the residence. He bought tickets for them to go see the game that they played last weekend.
Okay, yeah, that's what I kind of thought. Well, because they just kept showing me tickets, and then until I said it, it wouldn't go away. So I knew it had to mean something. I just wasn't sure for what game it was for, but he just keeps showing me tickets, and that was super exciting for them. I don't know. I'm getting a freaking headache. Getting a headache and getting hot. I feel like these three guys knew each other really well, but for some reason, why does it feel like the guy's house they were at was more of an outcast, or maybe they didn't know him as well?
Well, there's some discrepancies within that. There's actually a couple discrepancies that I found through research.
Did one of them work for him or something?
No, some were saying that they weren't as good of friends as the three that were deceased, that they didn't know them as long. But then I found a report per attorney that he knew two of the guys for 20 years.
I know, but what I'm saying and the way I'm perceiving it is these guys were really close, but not all three of them were close with him. Do you know what I mean?
I know, and I'm validating that. That's what I'm saying. Those three were close. Like you were saying, he was an outcast. The two out of the three were close with him, but there were reports saying that the one kid never really talked about him, so there
I mean,
were
we can know
two, I
people for a
guess, at
long
least
time and
that
not.
knew him.
We can know people for a long time and not be close with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's people I've known for 20 years, but I don't like talk to them all the time. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's like these guys were like close buddies, but it's like I get like this feeling of like this other guy. I mean, not like he doesn't know them or anything, but he's not as close as the three are together. If that makes sense. He's more of
Yeah.
like the fourth wheel in the situation, and it's almost like he was trying to maybe get on the good graces or something like that. Like it's like, you know how some people try to like buy friendship, or
Mm-hmm.
it kind of comes across like that, like he wanted to be kind of in with them, but there's something about work that's coming in. So I don't know if one of them ever worked with the other guy, with this guy or not, the fourth guy. um and also there's something about somebody else. Was there someone else that was there and then they left?
Yeah.
Because the way that they're showing it to me is like there was originally another person. I see him like putting on a jacket and leaving, like getting in a car and leaving. So I don't know if he like was like, I'm out of here early or something like that. Um, but it's like he wasn't there as long. He might have even left before the game was over. Like something came up.
He was there till the end of the game, but he did leave before the other three.
Okay. But it's like, because I get like he's getting around before the game's over. He's getting ready to leave. Like it was like right when it's over, I leave. Like I'm not sticking around, or like right before it ends. You know what I mean? Like, how there's like it ends and then but the stuff's still going on TV, but you're leaving, you're not
Yeah.
watching it. That kind of feeling. Um, because they were telling me there was 5. Um, and I don't know if that guy was maybe not as close to this fourth person or not, because the dynamics they're trying to like, I don't know, explain the dynamics or something. It's almost like that guy wasn't as close to this one. He was more friends with the other 3.
Yes.
And I think maybe they might have invited him. I don't know. I feel like he got a weird feeling or something. But it's almost like, I don't know if that guy has a family or something. It's almost like I gotta leave and go do something. But I still feel like he had like a weird vibe or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he knew the other 3 longer, like for a long time. But like I said, there's like contradicting reports, because they're saying that Jordan, the owner of the house, only knew some of the some of the deceased men for 2 to 3 years, and then like the attorney's like, well, he knew 2 of them for like 20 years. They went to high school together.
Yeah,
So
but it's
they
a
knew
difference
each
from
other
like
for a
knowing
few
someone and
years.
being like, yeah, it doesn't feel like they're like close friends. That's what I mean. Like, I know people from high school, but we're not close friends. We don't talk all the time. Like, that's how it comes across. Like, I know you're an acquaintance. You might be like a friend, but you're not like close like these other 3 were. That's the best
Yeah,
way I can describe it.
and the girlfriend had said that. The girlfriend said like she heard his name mentioned in conversation, but like those 3 that were found, they were constantly like hanging out, posting on social media. There was none of that with this
Yeah,
homeowner.
he just comes across as like a fourth wheel. Like, not that they didn't know him, not that they weren't friendly or acquaintances, but it's more like he's not in the in crowd with those 3. That's the best way I can describe it. And then the other guy, I don't even know if he knows him. It's almost like they invited him there, but he just felt weird or something. This guy, he puts off like weird vibes, which is weird. I've gotten Jordan in a lot of previous readings with that name, but he just puts off like a weird vibe. And the other thing I do know is I do know he's a scientist. I tried to stay away from stuff, but you know how it goes. Because I don't like to work on cases I know too much about. But there's 2 things I keep seeing. I'll just tell you guys what I've been seeing for the last every time this case gets mentioned. There's 2 things that I keep seeing. the one thing I've seen for a while, and the next thing I don't. So one thing I keep seeing is a door lock. You know how whenever you lock the top lock and you can see it through, like whenever someone locks a bolt, my doors, I turn the lock and they're showing me that like it's locked. Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're trying to say the back door was locked or there's a certain door that was locked or it's symbolic. I'm not really sure. The other thing I keep seeing is I don't even know if I want to say this, but it's something that repeats. I keep feeling like I keep seeing them being dragged or feeling like I'm being dragged. So I don't know if that means like something happened inside the house and they were moved outside. It's kind of that feeling, which is something that's come to me in the last couple days, and I don't really know if like that even makes sense. But it's something that I keep seeing.
Okay.
Because this comes across as, even though like I don't feel like they were the kind of people to, and again, there's something with a job or something. I don't know what that means. You know, if one of them knew each other through work or something like that. But you know, I don't feel like these guys were one to like do like substances or anything like that, but they're at a party. And I feel like there was drinking going on, because, or at least beer drinking, something like that. I mean, that's what you do at a Super Bowl party, right? You eat, you drink, you do that kind of stuff. And even if they didn't have any past behaviors with like, because I do know that it's being said, well, they didn't do, you know, they didn't do substances. Okay, that's great. People cannot do it, but then do it at a party. You know what I mean? But
no, they did.
The
one did in the past. His dad had said that he knows that they did. I don't want to get it wrong. He says that he knows that they had like recreational, like partaked here and there, but like they did it to basically get HIGH and not to, I don't know
yeah.
what I could say, or not,
Oh,
or
I'm
not to
getting
die.
like I'm not getting, okay. So what I'm seeing is, what am I allowed to say on YouTube?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But his Harrington's dad had said that he said that he was aware they may have done some questionable D's, but you know, it was to get elated, not to,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
doesn't come out okay. Because so what I keep seeing, as you know, what buds look like, right?
what.
Like when you look at like ganja buds. Okay, when you look at those buds and how they look, like we all
Mm-hmm.
know what they look like. Come on. For some reason, they're sparkling to me. So I don't know if that's saying like this guy being a scientist, that he gave them some that maybe he added to, made up. You know what I mean? Because like
Mm-hmm.
I keep feeling like it's nothing like. I mean, they may have taken something else, but for some reason they're showing me like how they look, how the nuggets look.
Okay.
He said nugs, so how they look, but it's weird because I get like a purplish color and they're sparkling. So I don't know if he's trying to say like there was something that was put on them.
Okay.
It's very odd.
That is
Yeah, but we know that that's laced with stuff all the time nowadays. Like,
mm-hmm.
and him being a scientist, it just makes me wonder if he's just, you know, um, because it's almost like 1 minute, because my heart is hurting. There's something going on with my heart.
Okay.
Um, they just showed me like a burst.
They show you what?
Like a burst, like in my heart, like
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. But what they show me is like a heart beating faster and then a burst. But it's almost like it was something that they took that caused a reaction in their body, whether it was a reaction of more than one thing or, you know what I mean? There's some kind of chemical that caused something with their heart. Like, that's how I take it. Like, they ingested something. But what I get is it's almost like I see them ingest it inside, because it's kind of, this is like weird how they're trying to show it to me. I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can. So it's like all of, like, you know, they're having fun, the game's over, you know, they're chilling, it's a party, whatever, shooting the shit. That's the word I hear. You know, and then it's like the guy's like, I got some good shiz, and he brings it out. But it's almost like he didn't do it himself. I don't know if that makes sense, because it's like he knows either what's on it or he's tried something with it. Like I keep telling you, I keep seeing that weird science card that I have in my deck. Like, they keep showing me that. So it's almost like, did he make something or have something like that, and here he wanted them to do it? But it's almost like there's some kind of weird feeling here. I don't know if it's something that happened with them in their past, or, like, again, there's a job related thing here or something like that. I'm not really sure, because there's some kind of, like, animosity at some point, but I don't really know. Like, I don't really understand that feeling. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I had animosity with you in the past or something. Like, there's something weird, but I don't really know what it is or can explain it any more than that. But it's almost like they were awake, having fun, and then the next minute they were gone. That's what they show me. But the weird thing is they show it to me happening in the house, and I feel like I'm dragged outside. It's almost like he freaks out.
Okay.
Drags him outside. I don't know if he locks the door. I don't know if that's why I'm getting the door locked. And then goes upstairs and acts like he knows nothing, because it's almost like, if anybody finds out, I'm going to jail. If anybody knows that I gave him this, I'm going to jail. You know, I can say I'm asleep. I can say I'm asleep and I didn't know what they were doing. Like, I went to sleep and they partied. Like, that's kind of the thing I get, is like, that's the thing is, oh, I went to bed and they stayed and partied.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting. But it's like, whatever they ingested, it comes across as like a nugget with, like, that's like laced or something. And I don't know if, unless you have to screen for something specific, you know, but it might be something that he even made up. I don't know if this was like on purpose or not. That's the thing, as I don't know if it was on purpose or,
Okay.
I mean, it's almost like I get a reaction in the body to whatever was on that was fatal. Almost like they give me crossbones and a skull, which is poison to me. So in some way, it poisoned them in some way. That's the way that it's coming across. And it's almost like they were dragged outside. So he's saying it didn't happen in the house, and so they could say, well, they were out there and they passed out from drinking and froze or something like that, you know. Like, that's the way it comes across, because I do feel like they were drinking, and that might have had something to do also with like it's almost like a clashing of, now they're showing me chemistry shit. I don't know anything about this. It's almost like when I was seeing the sub, like, I don't know, it's like new symbolism. But you know how in chemistry you always learn, like, this circle and it has this chemical in it, and then it goes like this.
Yeah, the
circle
chart,
and this chemical,
periodic table.
the chart. But it's like going from one to another. So it makes me wonder if there's just something chemically that was made that didn't agree with their bodies for whatever reason, or something that was mixed.
Okay. Oh, and you're right.
Uh,
When you said that he like, saying like he went to bed and like let them party, that he did say that basically he went up to bed and like let them
and that's the thing
party.
is, I don't know if this was something they had or something he gave them. It's kind of weird because the way that it comes across is like I come out with this stuff on a tray, but you know, maybe his excuse for not doing it was, I'm a scientist, I can't do it for my work, I can't, but here, you guys can try it, like that kind of thing. Because all of a sudden I can't breathe, like my breathing is labored.
Okay.
But it's almost like, I don't know if they did it and then, like, okay, you know how we did that one case? I'm getting reminded of that one case we did. Gosh, what was the name of that? It was last year, where that guy went missing and it ended up like he OD'd and the dealer put him in the trunk of the car. I can't remember the name of that one that we did, but it's like that. Like somebody ODs on something or something happens and then there's a cover up afterward, like so they don't get in trouble. Like I'm getting like that kind of feeling. But
Okay.
it's weird because again, it doesn't come across as like hard D's. It comes across as like here's some weed with like some stuff sprinkled on it. Like I keep seeing the nuggets like over and over and over again, and it's weird because they're like purple
Okay.
with like sparkles on them or something like that, you know.
Okay.
And I just wonder if there, and the back of my head hurts. I just wonder if there was like um a BONG involved because I keep seeing that as well, like someone taking a hit of that and like it being smoky. Um, and my head hurts really bad with that. So it usually if it's a harder type of substance, I'll see that. Like if it's needles or anything like I'll see it. And this is the first time I've ever seen it on nuggets. Maybe
Okay.
it's just like it's like a new kind of thing, and maybe it was laced with something. And either the guy maybe he didn't know or maybe he knew. I don't. That I is not clear. But I do feel like he ended up covering it up because he didn't want to get in trouble for it.
That makes sense.
Like that's the way it comes across because I feel like I'm dragged outside. I don't feel like
Okay.
I don't feel like they passed away outside. I feel like at some point they were put outside, whether they were just passed out and he thought they were gone and he put them outside and maybe they did freeze, because there is an element cold to it. Like I do feel like I'm cold.
Hmm.
So there is that element to it. And I don't know if there was snow on the ground or ice or if it's just symbolic
No, there
for
was.
okay, because I keep seeing like ice and snow outside. So it's almost like um there's an element of I'm trying to protect myself because of where I work, what I do, all of that. Like this went completely wrong. You know what I mean? Like it went
Oh,
completely. I just don't know if it was on purpose, but I feel like maybe he knew it was laced with something, or you know. And the BONG can be symbolic, but I just keep seeing that.
okay. Hmm.
And like I can't breathe and I'm getting like this, like the front of my throat like hurting. Like I don't know, like all of a sudden it's like a paralyzed kind of feeling in my body, I guess. And I feel high. Put it like that. Like I feel out of it. So there's something chemically that they ingested that I feel caused this, and then there was a freak out and a cover up. That's the way that it comes across.
Okay.
It's weird that they're using like the chemical symbols though. Makes me wonder if the guy didn't like make it or something, or they're just trying to show me like it's something chemically, like something chemical.
The one guy's
Could even be
mom.
like a mix of chemicals.
She said he's a very smart scientist, and she thought maybe he had maybe concocted something.
It kind of comes across that way, but I just don't know if he knew like it was gonna do this. It's all like maybe like I told you, I had the thought the other day of them being like lab rats or guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be something like that, but maybe he really didn't think that was gonna happen. But I mean, everybody smokes a little ganja sometimes. Well, mostly everybody. So I don't think that they took it as anything threatening. And maybe that's why they keep showing me like the nuggets of how that looks.
Mm-hmm. And like
Because
you
that's like
said,
never.
stuff like that now, it has, it's laced with stuff all the time too,
Mhm. And I don't know if putting them out in the cold, there's anything there about also timing of the passing. So whenever that's kind of coming in, okay. So whenever there's a body that's put in the cold, it will mess up the time of whatever happens. Like if you've seen on, I think maybe I watched too much. What's that show? CSI.
Mm,
And I'm getting reminded of that. There's one case where like this girl was unalived and then she was put in a room with the air conditioner, so it threw off the TOD.
mm-hmm.
So there's something with the cold that can throw off the TOD.
Yeah, because it'll slow down the
Yeah.
decomposition, and it could
Hmm.
affect
So it just makes me
with
wonder if the timing is off on this as well. And that's another reason why they were put outside. But it's almost like it's almost like a cover up, for what happened, because he doesn't want to get in trouble for providing them with it, or being them it happening in his house, like that kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
Especially since what he does for work and whatnot, like I feel like he's really geeky in that way. And again, I get like the chemical. They keep showing me those chemical things,
Okay.
the chemical bubbles.
And it was
Um,
cold that night too, but I thought maybe not. That usually like they'll check like weather and temperature, and like they'll like compensate. You know what I mean? Like with
well,
their
there's something about too is I keep seeing someone in a short sleeve shirt. So did they not have their jackets on or something? Or there's
uh
something. There's one of them in a short sleeve shirt I keep seeing.
well, the dad of the one guy said that the jacket was left in the house, and he feels that his son would never go outside without a jacket, so he feels they were dragged outside. Like something happened and then they were dragged outside, and that
Well, that makes
was
sense because when stuff repeats for me, we know that it's right, especially if it's random.
yeah,
Okay,
Ricky's
and I
coat was in the house, the dad said.
okay, I was just gonna say, is there a Ricky? Because I don't really know their names, but that name's been repeating since the beginning. Um, is there a Derek?
No.
I don't know their names. Anyways, I heard the name Derek.
No, you want me to
Anyway,
tell you their names?
um, no, sorry, I don't need to know them. But I've been hearing Ricky since the beginning. I just didn't want to say it because people will always be like, "Oh, you already know their name." Um, I didn't, like I said, I didn't look in dating guide. This is the first time I've seen them. This is the first time I've seen a picture of them. In the back of my neck hurts. I do feel like again this is chemically related. And I don't know if it's going to be something that they have to actually test for. Like I'm just wondering about the toxicology, because if he used something that maybe he made up or whatever that may be, it might not show up on a regular toxicology report. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to test for certain things. You have to test for certain
Mhm.
substances. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm kind of getting undetermined.
Okay.
They just spelled out undetermined to me. So I don't know if that means like at first it's undetermined and then there has to be further testing done. Um, they might find ganja in their system. I mean,
Okay.
that's definitely something that's coming out very clearly. is like the nuggets, like how the nuggets like purple and sparkles on them. Like that's what they keep.
Yeah,
showing
that's
me.
repeating.
Yeah, it's repeating. So between that and being dragged outside, you know, those are things that are repeating, and something with the door lock. So I don't know if maybe like he locked the door behind him, or they're talking about the front door being locked, but or if it's like they were dragged outside and he locked the door, you know, to make it seem like they couldn't get back in and it wasn't his fault. Maybe one of them accidentally locked themselves out there, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I don't know. As far as like him, I hear negligence, so I don't know if he's going to be charged with anything. I don't, because it's not like I forced it down their throat, but I knew about it or I gave it to him. I keep wanting to say like it's something he gave him. Like I don't think it's something they came there with. You know,
Okay.
it feels like it was. It feels like it was something in the house. I don't know. They keep showing me like now I see. What is that called? Like a lab. That's way I can describe it. Like you have like, you know, all these little glass things, and then all the like a lab would look like with like the liquid in the glass jars and all, you know, like
The beakers.
Yeah. I don't know if he actually, if it's like, oh, he made this in a lab somewhere else, or if he had a little lab, or you know what I mean. It can't just be symbolic, too. I don't know. It's kind of, it's just a weird, like. Do you know if one of these guys did like more like, I don't know what kind of work that would be. I see like more labor intensive work.
Pretty sure they all did. Like, I don't know too much about David's work, but Clayton, he installed flooring for over like 20 years. And Richard, he like took over his dad's construction company. So I don't know if he worked with dad still or if dad was involved, but he did construction.
Okay, that's what I was going with like construction stuff. Like that's what I was getting.
So it seems like Clayton and Ricky, he liked to be called, I guess. Them two were definitely manual labor. I did not see what David did for a living.
Yeah, that makes sense because I was getting like a construction like vibe with. Well, it seems like I don't even know which one is which on here, but it seems like Ricky's coming through the strongest because he was the one that showed me like he didn't have a jacket. He kept saying his name, and now he was showing me like construction work or labor intensive work like you would do on a construction. Even if he didn't do a lot of the labor work, it's still just showing me construction. I just heard like entice us with tickets.
What
I
did you
wonder if
hear?
he offered the tickets, entice us with tickets. I wonder if the tickets are a big thing, like to get them there or to get them like to be there, like to be his friend more or something. It's like he said, entice us with tickets. I don't know if that was a promise for them going to the party. I don't know. It's really weird. But see, they didn't think anything of it because it's something as like innocent as ganja. Okay. That's the only thing I can think of. Like that's repeating. They keep showing me the same thing over and over on that. Was one of them married? I keep getting reference to a wife and a couple kids.
He was the one with, well, between the three of them, there's a total of 6 kids at a loss for parents. Ricky, he had 3 kids.
3.
But
I keep
he
writing down
was
3. Look.
co-parent.
Yeah. Because I keep getting, I kept seeing like a reference to 3 kids. I kept writing the 3, and then there was a woman, but I wasn't sure if they were together. So
Clayton,
seems like
he
Ricky
has
is
a daughter, and then David, his girlfriend, has 2 kids that he helped raise.
Okay. Yeah. I kept getting that 3 kids. I was wondering where it belonged. It was weird. It was like went to 2 and then it went up to 3. But I just heard the word stupid mistake. So I don't know if they're just saying like it's a stupid mistake that they did it. They went in the first place. But I hear the word accidental, but it might be on. I don't know. That's what I can't tell is if the guy meant to do it or if it was more like, here's the stuff I made. I haven't tried it yet. You guys want to try it? Like, and he can't because he's a scientist and he doesn't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
I don't even know if that makes sense, but I feel almost like it was like a test subject kind of thing. And they were at a party, and you know what you do at parties, and it's that's how it's like coming across. I hope I'm perceiving that right. I mean, I don't think there was any like physical anything, like he didn't. It doesn't come across as like like suffocated all of you, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come across like it was like a physical thing. It's not the way it comes across. It's almost like they keep pointing to like it's chemically related, chemically related, and then cover it up. But they thought it was innocent enough. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that's right. I wanted to pull cards on this. I'm gonna pull cards on this now because I'm not getting much else. Like it's almost like
Okay.
I do feel like the other guy that was there though, like he just got like a weird vibe from the dude. Like that dude's weird. He is weird. He comes off as very odd. He might like be into like really weird things or something. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, well, if you think about it, I mean, I don't know their dynamics. So, I mean, he is a scientist. These guys are like blue collar workers, Two, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the third gentleman does, but 2 of them are involved in probably like small business construction. Like I read that Clayton was like an independent contractor for a small business, and then he did flooring for 20 years. So he's probably like a little small company that gets subcontracted out by other companies to put flooring in. Ricky does construction. Not that I'm not saying these companies aren't successful, but you have a scientist who is developing COVID and HIV vaccines, like 2 ends of the spectrum. So maybe he was just
I
like
mean,
like you said, like not the kid that like would fit in with this group. They were like the one played they were all avid sports fans, like one played football.
yeah, they're totally opposite than this guy. Like the personalities aren't the same, or they're not into the same stuff. Like I said, he's like an oddball or an outcast compared to them.
Yep. And like I said,
And
the one the his Jordan's lawyer had came out and said 2 of them he went to school with and is known for 20 years, but I don't think they actually went to the same like high school. Like he went to a school in a town over because it said like the 3 of them all went to the same high school. He went to a different one. And then the girlfriend's like, well, I never really heard about Jordan. They really didn't hang out. Like, So like you said, maybe they
I mean,
were
like I said,
friends
you
for
can know
20
someone
years,
and not
but
hang out with
not
them.
like best friends like these three were.
Yeah. That's what it comes across as, like, this is, like, an outcast person, and I don't know, like I said, I think he knows how to develop certain things, like, I keep getting that chemical stuff and all of that, like,
Yeah.
maybe
And then like, I don't
like
know, David's girlfriend had like come out and said she didn't hear good things about him and that he was on D's allegedly, but then people were coming out and saying David was on D's, and she like defended that, saying like no he wasn't, like the things that are being said aren't true. So I think there's like a lot of rumor and speculation too, like which
well,
that
this I
happens a
feel
lot
like
in these cases.
I really feel like this was something chemically that they took, um, whether that's, like, he gave it to him or not, you know what I mean? Or he just
Hmm.
freaked out because they took something and something happened with them, but again, I keep seeing that's what I keep seeing, what I told you guys, but that's it's like that repeating.
Yeah. And like I said, David's dad said like he was aware they would, dabble in some questionable deeds, but like not enough to unalive you. You know what I mean? Like you expect to get the effects of it, not to be unalived from it,
And that's why I
but
think is like it comes across as like it comes as innocent as like ganja. Like I keep seeing that. Like they didn't think anything of it. But it's like it's purple and sparkling. Like,
yeah.
you know, and then they show me all the chemical things and it feels like it was chemically related. And they show me in the heart, like the heart basically like something happening with the heart. I don't know if they're
Hmm.
saying like, you know, something happening with the blood flow and the heart, but it's like it's like a burst. Like I keep
Hmm.
getting like a burst in the body and I don't know and I also can't breathe either. Like
Hmm.
all of a sudden I'm having a hard time breathing. So there's something there where like the respiratory was cut off. It's almost like it feels like I don't know if it's like the F and all. It could be something similar to that. Like it depresses the
Hmm.
respiratory system and everything like that. Like it's something like that. Like it depresses everything.
Hmm.
Which GHB is that? Is
That's
that E-rate?
yeah.
Hmm.
My friend's boyfriend used to be um influenced to that because he was
I
an
just heard
athlete, and athletes will use it for endurance instead of taking breaks. They'll use that.
I don't know why I just heard that, but I just heard that. Yeah, I don't know. My heart hurts and I feel like I can't breathe. So it's something that like depresses it, but it's like again something chemically. It's almost like it slowed everything down. You know,
Hmm.
and then it's like, how do I cover up this situation? How do I not get in trouble for this?
That makes sense because like the stories have changed. Oh, and that Alex, he's the fifth guy that was there. He went to high school with Clayton, David, and Ricky. But
Mm.
the renter, the host of the party, Jordan, um, his initial account was different than what Alex had said, because he said that he kind of fell asleep before they all left. And Alex said that by no means was he the last one to see them alive, that he left at midnight and the four of them were on the couch watching Jeopardy.
Yeah, I don't like I said. I think he was awake when they left, but I
Yeah.
think then he tried to cover it up with saying like, they partied without me and this is what happened, and they probably went outside and something happened. Like but it's almost like and he's a big guy. I think he could somehow drag them outside. Um it's just yeah. It's almost like like something happened chemically with whatever they took, and then there was a cover up. But it's almost like they're sitting there after the guy left, and it's like, hey, you want to try this? Like that kind of situation kind of comes up. You know how guys are, like, hey, you want to try this? I got some good shit. You want to try it? Like that kind of thing.
And then I guess his story had changed, and he said that he saw all 4 out at like 2 a.m. and he went to sleep. But that wouldn't be true, because there wasn't, if they left at 2, there would only be 3 of them left, because Alex already left at midnight.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, is like there's something with the timing that's off, and I think that's maybe why you put them outside, like something with the cold. They're not going to be able to pin down when they actually pass because of the cold. That makes sense. Plus, he didn't want him in the house because he wanted to be like, okay, they must have went outside and something happened and I didn't see him, and I thought they left. Like there's that kind of, it's a cover up. But it might be something that he was developing or something that he did. Like that's kind of how it comes up. There's something chemically here, and I don't know if it will show up unless it's specifically tested for.
Yeah, but then it's not gonna be the F word, because they'll pick that up in the system. So
I said light. I wasn't saying that. I was saying it was something that was similar to depressing the system, like that does.
Okay. Got you. Sorry.
Like I said, it might not be that, but it might be something that's similar to that.
Okay. Similar to it.
I mean, it could be, but I'm just saying it might be something that's similar to it, because I was just getting that reference, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is. It's just almost like they're showing me it depresses the like respiratory system and the heart rate and everything. Like it's something like that, because I'm also kind of getting the reference to Matt Perry and how what he took suppressed things like chemically. It's almost like I'm getting those types of references, like it's something that depressed. And I'm not saying it's the same exact D, so please don't like twist things that I say. People always twist things that I say. So listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying these are references, and it's something that's similar. It could be the same, but it's like they're referencing that. Like it's something that depressed everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'm gonna do the cards. All right. So we're going to hold on. Extra camera. Nope, don't like that. Don't like that. There we go. I don't really like that either, but it is what it is. Okay. So I pulled the cards. Now remember that cards can also be surrounding the situation, surrounding him. It's not always it's just like readings and visions. Okay. So again, it's a matter of perception and all of that. Because some of these cards, it could be just surrounding the dude's work. So we have the death card. But interesting, next to the death card, we have drugs and poison. And then we have the homicide card, which if they took some bad Ds, it's going to be considered that anyways. They were missing for a point in time. Health risk. Could be the health risk when they were alive. But health risk, I mean, you can come in, maybe they had some things that in their body, that weren't apt to happen. At least one of them, if they had already had a heart condition or something like that could be a health risk, or it could just be whatever they were taking was risk to their health. So if they decided to take some Ds and drink some alcohol and all of that, and you mix it, or whatever you were taking, it's a risk to your health regardless. That's the way that I take it. And then we have, this is so weird. So again, this card, and I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know how to take that. Like, it's coming across as acid and poison. So, and you could take the acid card as a type of poison. A type of D's is not necessarily like the kind that dissolves you, It's coming in with poison, so some kind of, yeah. All right, I didn't pull much on this because, I mean, there's only one person that's kind of there, but bad guy. I don't really know, unless he developed this with someone else where the partner in crime comes in at, or if it's he got it from somewhere. You know, you could take it that way, because if someone else gave him the D's or someone else gave him this whatever it was, then that could be an accomplice, or, you know, they made it together. A male. And then we have the giant card, which you can take that as any way, tall or big, whatever. Okay. Okay, now these are weird cards. I don't know. So we have the weird science card, but with the weird science card is the collapse card. So they could have collapsed due to the weird science. Propaganda, so some kind of fake news in there. But we have the government card, but the investigation card is next to it, and then work. So I'm taking it as there could be a government investigation into the work of some kind, and that might be why the work had come in earlier. But all those three cards come in together. So sometimes it's how the cards fall, and I'm still learning cards, so I'm not perfect at them. But it says a government investigation work, so it could be a government investigation into the work. Then we have anger, so I don't know if there was anger at some point. But what is odd is the timeline issue, because that came in the reading too.
Yeah.
And then we have gift. So I mean, it could have been given to them. I mean, I don't really know how to take that card, honestly. And success, because the guy's a successful person. Control, and they were at a party. So
yeah.
I mean, it was his house, so he had control of the party. You take it like that. I don't know. DNA, you can take this as too, like if they draw their blood and they find something in their blood or something like that, like you could take it as that as well. Curse, and you could take that. Egotism. Someone might have a little bit of egotism there. We know there's lots of rumors, so.
Wow.
There's also secret. Strategy. Secret strategy. So this could have been a secret strategy of his in some way, shape, or form. Because the evil card comes up too. But evil card comes up with government agency. So it goes evil government agency, embezzlement, premeditated. So I'm not really sure how to take that unless it has anything to do with like his work or something. Loyal card. All three of those guys were loyal to each other. That's just the way I'm going to take it. Prophecy. So this is something that was going to happen. I don't really know how to take these. We have war, secret society, and mind control. So I mean, it could be whoever if they're doing vaccines, if they're making vaccines, sometimes there's other things behind companies that do that. So I don't know. Or this guy could belong to some secret society that we don't know about. Of scientists. I don't know. I don't know. But it's weird because it's like the war comes with the secret society. And that might be that might cause an investigation somewhere. I don't know. Then there's also regret. And the flight risk. I mean, he did move, so that's part of leaving. But then this is weird because it says government involvement, which they could just be looking into it. Then we have setup. Government. A lot of government cards for some reason. So, I don't know. This is weird. I definitely feel like it's chemically involved. You know, with getting the homicide card and stuff. I mean, if somebody gives you bad D's, you can be charged with that. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, whoa, we got big.
Why am I so big? Don't ever do that. Don't ever put my face on the screen that big again.
It was an accident, sorry. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I got. I really do feel it was chemically related. And the guy could have taken some himself, but just maybe not as much, you know? But he could have also freaked out. And, I mean, it throws me because I'm like, well, if they did some stuff and maybe they, you know, were tripping and went outside, you know, maybe they felt sick, maybe they thought the cold air would help them. But I keep seeing the door locked and then like my arms being dragged. So, but it could be, I don't know, maybe one dragged the other to get them outside to wake them up. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Really, that means I'm just getting bits and pieces, and how I perceive the visions. I can just tell you guys what I see, and it's just that's the couple things that keep coming up. So, I just think there was something bad that was ingested that didn't go good together and didn't go good with their bodies either. You know, that's how it comes across.
Those cards were like
right on point. It comes across as like, let's just, you know, you want to try some of the stuff I made, you know, and or the stuff I have or whatever, and you know, you're at a party, they try it, and you know, then you get high and you don't know what's going on. So maybe he didn't completely, but then maybe he freaked out if he figured, you know, if something happened. I don't know. The dragging thing is kind of throwing me because I mean, I don't see them going outside, but at the same time, it's like when you're under the influence, you don't know what you do. I've seen people go into psychosis. I've seen them. I mean, there was this one girl not long ago. I guess she smoked some ganja that was laced, and she ran outside and froze to death somewhere. So I mean, sometimes people get weird like that. You know, depending on what they take, it can make them trip out. So I mean, that's possible. I just feel like I'm being dragged, and it could be maybe one drag the other, like to get them outside into the air. You know, that's possible. But it just feels like again that this is something chemically. They took something chemically that was bad.
So sad.
That's the best. I mean, that's, you know, that's the way it comes across. You know, I don't. And again, I could be pulling the homicide card because again, if it's bad D's, somebody can be charged for that. It's, you know, whether they knew it or not, you know. So there's definitely something chemically going on here because he kept giving me all the chemical stuff. We've got all the chemical cards out here, so you know, there's something up with that. In my opinion, this is my opinion and all alleged. So whether the guy knew that or not, I don't really know. I mean, he could have just not. He's a bigger guy. Maybe it didn't affect him as much, or maybe he didn't take as much, or you know, like maybe he could have taken a little bit, but maybe he, you know, maybe he fully doesn't remember either. You know.
That could be.
I don't understand the dragging thing and the door lock. Like those are two things I don't get, and it's like they keep repeating. So it must have happened in some way. You know, unless I'm picking up on what the collective thinks, but I don't think so. I feel like you know, when you pull somebody's arms up and you drag them, that's what I keep seeing over and over, and I just don't know. It's like one of them, you know, drag the other one outside, or he did it to cover it up. It seems like he's trying to cover his ass at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he maybe is the one that gave it to him or something like that, you know.
Well, there's inconsistencies
so he's
too in the story, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So, my heartfelt condolences to the family. I hope that this was helpful. I'm ready. I gotta go take care of things and go to bed. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for your liking, subscribing, and sharing or commenting. Please keep it nice in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.